Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. So this is less of a vlog or just process shot. It's actually me trying to reach out to the game dev community or people more familiar with Unreal Engine, as I've just been experiencing just a few things that are confusing the heck out of me. It mainly has to do with lighting, and this is something that has troubled me in the past, that has really caused a lot of frustration and just a lot of pain and suffering. So here we are. So this is a level I'm working on. I just plan on being a simple level for the game that I'm working on. Just want it to be just a basic level. It's gonna have just a couple rooms, and it's just some weird stuff happening, right? Like, for example, like this mesh right here, centerpiece mesh. It's using the base white material, and if we look at this one, okay, this was not using that one. Okay, so that could be a reason why that's happening. Let's see if that fixes that. Okay, potentially. Let's see this one now. If that has the emissive, because I'm trying to get a handle on the lighting, and right when I think I have any idea of how it works, I kind of lose it. Like right now, like you see how this piece up top, it's like whiter than the surrounding meshes. No idea why that's happening. Shift it up and down. I don't know. So I gotta figure that out. Second thing is, I get this weird glow. So you're not seeing it now, I think because I was messing with the meshes. But if I shift this, for some reason, on some parts, I get that glow. And it's literally like right when it's touching. Now, some people said that this is light leak. That sounds cool, but let me show you something. That still happens even if there are meshes blocking the light underneath. The only thing I can imagine is that potentially the light is hitting this mesh from underneath and continuing up, but I'm not sure what light is hitting it from down here. All I see is the exponential height fog there. There's no real light here. And if you look, anything that passes through the landscape, that light comes all the way through. So obviously, yeah, it makes sense. I'd have to bring it up. But that seems weird that I have to for every single mesh, because now it's not even poking through the landscape and I'm still getting that glow. So that's one issue. Now I do have, if we go to the tools, console variables right here. There's no console variables there, so let's pick the console variable that I have. So I have ray tracing nanite mode 1, ray tracing shadows enable two-sided geometry 0, lumen screen probe gather screen trace is 1, lumen reflection screen trace is 0, ray tracing force all ray tracing effects 0. Now that doesn't really solve that, right? The only thing that really solves it is to have this sort of hovering ever so much over the ground, which is going to obviously mess with ambient occlusion and stuff like that, and there's always going to be some meshes passing through others, right? Like, so there's no light underneath this mesh, but it still kind of happens. And it seems like when meshes intersect does that happen. Like this is sort of hovering up. Let's see. Doesn't normally happen with the center meshes unless it goes through a certain distance. It's kind of happening to a lesser degree here, but it's very noticeable if we go inside here. So let's shift this down. So like I said, now it's poking out the bottom, and boom. And this obviously has a floor, and it still happens if I move the floor. Let's move this piece right here. This one where it's under. See, still happens. So that would be really weird light bleed. But again, it's going to be difficult to control that, right? Like for example, like let's say I was putting together a landscape with rocks and stuff. So is that going to happen if like a piece of a rock is sort of sitting up out of it, right? Like look at there. So now that's happening. That doesn't seem right. You know what I mean? Like what about like a barrel, right? If I want to stick it through a certain amount. So it's not happening as much here because I believe this is in the direct line of light. It's mainly happening in shadow areas. So I'm not sure what's causing that. So that's one issue. The other is, so the room in here looks okay. It kind of looks like how I want it to look. But that's only because, why is that happening? Let's see. I think because on the ceiling. Yeah, I think on the ceiling I have the emissive material. But if I have all basic materials, all the shadows are completely dark. Now, I don't know if how I had it is the way to go. Just have emissive materials indoors. But I want to reduce how dark the shadow is in a more controlled way, because I'm sort of leaving it up to the emissive material here to illuminate the inside. But let's say I want to just reduce the shadow of the light itself. So simple, let's just go to shadow amount, right? Let's bring the shadow amount down. Well, not so fast, because look at what happens. As I look around, the shadow changes. It's not constant. And I understand that this is on dynamic lighting, but that's a little too much of a shift. So I'm sure there's a setting for that. But what really throws me off is if you look at the back wall, this is where the light technically would hit if there were no other objects. But if you look the way the shadow, the way the light falls, it seems that anything that is being hit by light here, it's like these meshes are no longer casting a shadow. The ceiling, the walls, it just hits that. Like for example, now if I start to rotate, let's try it on the Y. Yeah. So if I rotate this on the Y-axis, depending on the angle of the light, it changes what gets hit, right? Like, I don't understand how that's happening. It's still casting a shadow. It's just the shadow amount is not as strong. Shadow amount is 0.8. So that confuses the hell out of me. That's pretty much mainly the main thing. And there's one other thing. I think I solved it. The compute normals on the import. One question about that, if someone is knowledgeable on that. If I go to the normal and I uncheck recompute normals on the static mesh here, is that the same as not computing normals on the import? Or should I always just not compute normals on import? But that's pretty much it for now. Those are the main two things. Those weird white glowy things, and like here on the floor as well. Like this is passing through the other mesh and it's still causing that white glow halo effect. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope someone can help me out with this, point me in the right direction, It's been really frustrating, but thanks for watching and have a great day.